Tuesday. It's time. I'm back. You're back.
It's time.
Wow, your microphone is really super loud.
That's all I got.
Is your regulator correct?
It's called
Is your moderator correct there?
It's not a moderator.
Your
It's a limiter. Yes, my limiter is set.
Okay. All right, freaks.
That was only loud because I yelled.
Okay, Professor Paul here, and we are coming to you from the Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
Silencershop.com. The easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Full stop, end of conversation, just do it. And yesterday, we told you that we were going to continue with our discussion of the destruction of the finest military force in the world that the world has ever known, because that's what we're going to do. We're just going to destroy it because we don't deserve to be strong. America doesn't deserve to be mighty or powerful or strong because they're wrong. They're bad. They're evil capitalists, and things should be fair. And we're going to spread equal distribution of misery throughout the entire nation because that's just the fair thing to do. You're like, but Paul, I don't want that. I don't want to be a socialist. I don't want to live in a weak socialist nation like Europe. I know Europe's not a nation. It's a continent. Don't correct me. Well, you say you don't want to live in that kind of nation? It sure does seem like you do, because you allowed your idiot friends and neighbors and douchebag coworkers to put a socialist community organizer at the highest seat of the nation. You allowed that to happen. And then for 8 years, you posted on Facebook how angry you were. I'm really angry. I'm going to post on Facebook how angry I am. And then when your fellow citizens actually get out and do something, when they nut up, and when they go out in public in force, you say, that's not how responsible gun owners behave. Apparently, in some of your minds, responsible gun owners, the way they behave is to get quietly and politely in line to register their guns and ask for permission slip. Apparently, some of you folks think that's how responsible gun owners should behave. Remember what I told you guys last year or 2 years ago? When did I do the Dalton speech, Jared? About, I want you to be nice, and it's till it's time not to be nice.
Yeah.
Well, how will we know? You won't. I will tell you.
Yeah. That was last year, I think.
Yeah. Well, I did the Dalton speech already, but I'll do it again. Dalton from Roadhouse. How will we know? You won't know. I want you to be nice until it's time not to be nice. Well, how will we know? You won't know. I will tell you. This is me telling you it's time to not be nice. Okay? Are we good? All right. Let's begin with this endeavor that we call Student of the Gun Radio. And we have a challenge for Jared. Jared, did you acknowledge yourself as the digital mastermind and co-host of Student of the Gun Radio yet?
I am Jared Markle, the digital mastermind and co-host of Student of the Gun Radio. And
the producer, too.
Yeah, producer. We have a challenge for me?
Yeah, I have an audio challenge for you. We're going to challenge Jared's the Mixmaster's skillology here. All right, but before we do that, we're going to thank our friends at Century Arms, the sweetest-smelling arms maker in America. Buy your AK today, or you can wait 6 months and then whine and cry because they're $1,000 and you can't find one. Choice is up to you. Duracoat, because life is too short to have an ugly gun. But Paul, I don't know where to buy Duracoat products. Well, you could go to LauerWeaponry.com, or you could just pop over to Brownells.com and you could get it there. How's that? Super simple. Velocity triggers. Superior quality and value.
Is that my cue?
Yeah, you're welcome for me finishing that.
Superior quality and value. I'm over here setting up my challenge.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, more veterans becoming victims is the theme of this show. And the audio clip that we have for you really, really super deserves this theme song.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where
y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here. Up in here. This story that I have to share with you was first shared with us by one of our grad program members on the official exclusive Student of the Gun grad program page, forum, site, link, club, group.
Private group.
On Facebook, and you have to be a grad program member to be in it, and those freaks are having more fun than a human being should be allowed to have, and here I am, minding my own business, doing the show notes, browsing, and I like to answer questions and address topics that the grad program people are concerned about, because they have an investment. Grad program people have an investment in the show. They have made an investment in the show. Therefore, their opinions hold more water than the freeloaders. So there's that. Well, one of you freaks out there in the grad program just decided that you would put this up in front of my face, and I had to watch it, and now I'm pissed. And now I'm not happy, man. And now I am once again reminded that I have more work to do. Last year, do you remember the 4th of July and the legions of manginas who were being led by a person, a U.S. Army sergeant, retired veteran, or he wasn't retired, he was like did 8 years or something, and they're putting signs up in their yards about, please be courteous to the veterans that don't you? When you celebrate the birth of the greatest nation ever to grace planet Earth, when you celebrate that event, you need to be courteous of the veterans who might, and we did a whole entire thing about what we've done in the United States of America, how we've turned military veterans into the latest group of victims, and how sadly, very sadly to me, this really as somebody who's been in it, okay? And I've got a lot of friends, close friends and associates who've been in it. And I don't mean fobbits. And if you know what a fobbit is, some of you guys out there, you know what fobbits are. People that have really been in it, that have been there when their friends died. And these fobbits and fakers and wannabe attention seekers wrap themselves all up in a flag, tell everyone that they encounter how they're a veteran and they have a disability and they're a this and that. And let me tell you what, I'm going to say this one more time. If I see your LinkedIn status, if you want to LinkedIn me and your status is U.S. military veteran disabled, that's not a status, okay? Quit victimizing yourself. Quit falling in with victim groups. I know people in wheelchairs that have more chutzpah and cojones than some of you folks walking around on two good arms and with 2 good arms and 2 good legs. I know you're not walking on your arms. There are people walking around on prosthetic limbs that would punch you in your face. Who's that dude? Who's Matt Best? Matt Best, his right hand.
Derek.
Derek,
Derek
Matt
Wida,
Best right hand.
I think that's how you say it.
Why does he try so hard? Why does
he
work
could just
so
use
hard?
An excuse.
He should just wrap himself in the victim blanket and say, I'm disabled. Feel sorry for me. Look at me, everyone. I'm disabled. But instead, he's got the Superman leg. He's got,
He does more than a lot of people that have
more than
all
people
of their limbs.
that have all their limbs and all their legs. Their legs, arms, everything. It almost brings me to tears when I think about our friend Colonel Tim missing 2 legs, walking around on bionic legs, has to use a wheelchair sometimes, walks real slow like a droid other times, and that dude has more huevos And when that dude looked into our student of the gun cameras, and we said, what would you tell people? And he'd say, and he said this, and I'll paraphrase Tim because he's not here. Nobody ever told you life was going to be fair. Life is tough. Get over it. Figure out a way to make your life work for you. It's easy to just sit over in the corner and say, oh, poor me, oh. When, since this world started spinning around on its axis, have we ever been in a situation where everything was going to be fair and comfortable and nice? It doesn't exist, and it never has existed. But here we have a story dovetailing in with the don't shoot off fireworks to celebrate the birth of the United States of America, because it might, by another U.S. Army veteran who is personally offended. And he's going to let you know, because unlike the yard signs, this guy has specially printed cards that he goes around and hands out to businesses. Jared's going to play the audio from this story because I don't really think I could do it justice.
Open carry concerns from a local veteran who says open carry can trigger PTSD. He's now armed with cards like this, letting businesses that allow open carry know he will never be back. Local 2's Casey Jones leads us off live in the studio to share his story tonight.
Stephanie and Tyler, veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder may be sensitive to certain triggers which remind them of life on the battlefield. For Art Leal, he wants people to know one trigger could be a gun. And now that the state passed open carry, some could suffer in silence.
A lot of times the gun itself will stress the veterans.
Experts say 1 in 5 veterans experience post-traumatic stress disorder after the battlefield.
They have rapid heartbeat, they feel very anxious, and they can't function.
Art Leal served in the U.S. Army for 8 years. Now he tells me he suffers from PTSD and explains weapons in plain sight could bring back undesirable memories.
So adding an open carry individual coming in, the veteran doesn't know who they are or what their intentions are.
Leal tells me because of horrific events in war, some vets feel nervous anxiety after seeing a gun.
Veterans, when they go into restaurants, they're already hyper alert. They'll sit at the furthest end of the room, make sure they have a clear view of the exit.
Dr. Sudeep Boyce, PTSD expert, tells me the disorder could affect a person's fight or flight response.
Switch flips when it shouldn't be flipped.
Showing deep wounds often unseen.
The mental scars and the mental impressions people have from that traumatic event in the battlefield, and that can go on for years and years.
Those scars, the reason why Leal passes out small cards to businesses allowing open carry, to remind them and gun owners to think of the vets.
It's everybody's right to bear arms, and we're 100% for concealed carry, to be considerate of those individuals who may have a trigger or a stressor if someone is open carrying.
Now, Leal does want to reiterate he has no problem with concealed carry and he supports Second Amendment rights. However, open carry can cause pain for some. Live in the studio, Casey Jones.
Is that the Frog Loop thing?
He wants to stress that he has no problem with concealed carry or right to... Shut up! You weak, flaccid piece of human filth! The last thing this nation needs is more manginas with their freaking cards and signs letting everyone know, yes, I know there is PTSD. Yes, I experienced it. Yes, I got beyond it. You weak, victim, verminous piece of filth. Oh, hang on, Paul, you just can't. No, I can. Don't tell me I can't. The United States of America does not need a cadre of veterans inspired by this guy to be victims. There are enough victims in the United States of America. We don't need more. This country was not founded by victims. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. Seeing a gun will make me shut up. I'm tired of it. I'm done with it. I'm not going to sit quietly and play the little, I thank you for your service. Yada. No. Respect is earned based upon performance. And you have to earn it every single day. Do you know who was an honored American service member? General Benedict Arnold was a decorated and honored American service member until he betrayed his commander-in-chief and cut him deeply. If you don't know the story, and I had to remind Jared, he's like, well, I heard that term. Well, we don't teach that in school anymore. Lee Harvey Oswald was a veteran. Should I take his advice? Should I hold him up as an example? You don't get a blank check for the rest of your life because you volunteered to join the Army. Navy, Air Force, Marines, well, I don't care. Well, Coast Guard kind of, but you don't get a blank check to say and do stupid crap for the rest of your life because you served. Serving is service. Folks, this is nonsense and it needs to stop. And when we shared this story initially on our social media sites, it pains me the number of people that took this as, they're like, I knew this was going to happen with open carry. It's not about open carry. It's about this victimization status. I'm gonna call News Channel 5 and tell them about my little cards and get my 15 minutes of fame and about. You want to help veterans? You want to help recent combat veterans? Sit down and talk to them. You know what? When I got back and I got out initially after the first Desert War, I was really frustrated because there's nobody in my peer group or that I was around that understood. I mean, they empathize, they sympathize. I guess sympathize is the correct word, not empathize, but, they're like, thank you for your service, pat on the back, it's wonderful and everything. But they don't really understand. That is what they need, is they need people to talk to. But what do we know? What's going on right now in the United States of America? What just freaking happened? And what have I been telling you freaks for years? You're a veteran. You are honorably discharged veteran, and you have these feelings. So you go to get not psychiatrist counseling, just counseling. You go to a group. Guess what? You're now on a mentally unstable list. And according to Comrade Barry, you must be stripped of your constitutional God-given right, constitutionally affirmed God-given right to keep and bear arms. Because you've sought mental counseling or mental health counseling. You're unstable. We can't trust you. And so the tens of thousands of dudes, guys, that really need to talk to somebody, because believe it or not, you can get over this. It's not like herpes. You don't have it for your whole life. You learn to work through it. And if you talk to real people, not Dr. Stupid Poser, whatever the hell his name was, if you talk to real people, they're like, it's going to go out. Yeah, it does. And you know what? There's an excellent article that Mookie shared with us when we were talking about the fireworks thing. And it was in freaking Vanity Fair, wasn't it, Jared? Yeah, about PTSD. And it blew me away because when I was reading that article, it's like, this dude, he was right there. That happened to me. I was doing that. I told you, I've shared with you guys. I'm pretty sure it was just the grad program, Jared, that I shared the story about the letters.
Yeah, I think it was.
And writing to Tommy's wife, his widow, and his son.
Yeah, it was definitely just on the grad program.
Just on the grad program. But, yeah, I've been there. I dealt with the death of a friend. I dealt with the strange, uneasy feeling of being back in the weak civilian world where they don't get it and they don't understand discipline and they don't understand what it's like to be part of a community. I get that. I've been there. I've done that. And you know what? I worked through it. Well, not everybody has the same opportunities as you to work. Yes, they do. Shut up. You know what I didn't do? I didn't print up silly little cards and go around and tell business owners, I'm a veteran and I have PTSD and I'm disabled and you have to make special accommodations for me because I'm part of the new victim class. Don't think, and that is the twisted situation that we're in as a nation, is people who are out there listening who were not in the military think that they have to cow to anybody. Oh, veterans, here's a veteran. Yeah, we should thank our veterans. You know what? But this thank you for your service is crap. Oh, what do you mean it's crap? It's crap. You say thank you for your service, move on with your life, and you allow the VA to shite upon vets who actually need help. We had somebody who wrote in, and this is just anecdotal, but wrote in and left a comment about our the call to action about how he waited for 16 years for surgery from the VA. Don't talk to somebody who's been in the VA system, who got stuck in that system. And this isn't a mystery. It takes literally, it'll take you about 2 minutes worth of internet searching to find the numerous reports, congressional investigations, Senate investigations about the VA and how they've wasted money, how they put people on wait lists, how they get them doped up for years. Well, we're not going to, I know you need surgery for that, knee, back, shoulder, whatever. But rather than get you into surgery, what we're going to do is we're going to get you addicted to narcotics for 3-4 years so that you're at the point you want to kill yourself. And then, well, you know, the wheels move slowly. You say, thank you for your service. And you stand quietly by like a sheep and allow the scumbags at the TSA to molest and abuse veterans and service members. You say, thank you for your service, and then you walk right into the voting booth and you vote for the same villainous scumbag vermin who perpetuate the VA situation. You say, thank you for your service. And what? And then what? Oh, what do you mean? What am I supposed to do? Nothing. That's what you're supposed to do. Do nothing, America. Just sit on your hands and Facebook occasionally, because that will fix the nation. Thank the Lord in heaven that there wasn't Facebook in 1775. Jared, do you ever think about that? If there was Facebook in 1775, we would still be a group of colonies under control. Oh, T. Jefferson says, hashtag, this sucks, man. A. Hamilton says, right on, I'm mad too. Samuel Adams says, hashtag, F Great Britain. Yeah, if there was Facebook in 1775, we would still be a group of disjointed colonies. Actually, we'd probably be the East Coast would probably be run by Germany, and the West Coast would be run right now by Japan, and they would have divided the country down the middle. Because if it were not for the United States of America and all those evil, mean, capitalist white people in our segregated military, how did we win a two-front world war when we had people that smoked cigarettes, drank coffee, whiskey, and we had a segregated military? How were we able to do that? We didn't even allow women in combat in World War II. We had all black fighter pilot units. And we still were able to win a two-front war in less than 5 years. It was actually less than 5 years. How is that possible? We didn't have political correctness. We didn't have gender-neutral terminology. Hell, our troops were even using corrosive ammo. And we were still able to defeat two really big superpowers. Yeah, I know it hurts your little feelings, but Japan and Germany were superpowers. How were we able to do that? And here we are today with integrated services, women in on combat ships and in combat roles, gender-neutral sensitivity training, openly gay service members. We got all this wonderful, happy unicorn crap. And we're 14, 15 years into a global war on terror, and the country is in even more peril today than it was in 2001. You mean you don't keep your nation safe by creating extensive victim groups and little classes of complainers? But I thought that's how we made America great and how we ensured the safety of our children and our grandchildren was by integrating gender neutrality and allowing everyone to be complaining little victims. That's not how we keep the country safe. No, the country is in grave peril, and rather than looking at it and saying, you know, we might want to knock off all this victim class horse crap and get back to our roots. No, we embrace it even harder. And the puke-faced scumbag idiots in the media, they hold the victims up as some kind of heroes. Oh, look at this whiny little bitch over here. Can I say that? Okay. Look at this whiny little bitch. Let's hold him up as a hero. How many no-kidding hardcore pipe-hitting veterans out there are disgusted and had to vomit when they listened to this dude? How many U.S. Army veterans retched and puked a little in their mouths when they're listening to this guy? I did. But you know what? I don't want to talk about that anymore. What I want to do is I'm going to thank a few of our sponsors, and then we're going to do a special segment that we do every Tuesday now. Okay? How's that sound? Sound good to you guys? Sounds good to me. Thank you, SWAT Fuel, and go to SWATfuelstore.com. And when you go there, use the code PREPARED, and that's the word prepared. And if you don't know how to spell prepared, then you need to go back to school. But when you do that, you're going to save 15% off your total order, and that'll help you be prepared for this psychotic year called 2016. Frog Lube, it just works. It's extreme. You should use it. Crossbreed Holsters, makers of the Bruce Jenner Commemorative, also known as the Super Tuck Deluxe. If you're not carrying a gun, you're wrong. But Crossbreed Holsters can help you not be wrong by helping you carry a gun. Now, the next segment we're going to have is a new segment. It's relatively new. It's brought to you by silencershop.com, and it's called Quiet Time. I'm going to read you guys a small section from the book called Compact of the Republic, the League of States and the Constitution by David Benner. This was one of the nicest Christmas gifts I got this year, and it was a gift from a grad program member. Thank you very much. And I'm really appreciating this book, and as I read it, I'm like, yes. How is it that 240 years ago, those evil, white, racist slaveholders who founded the nation, they were able to predict exactly the situation that we would be in right now as a nation. They were able to do that. And I'm going to go ahead and read you a quote from this crazy radical guy named Thomas Jefferson. And he's talking about the compact, essentially, that Great Britain violated the British Constitution, the rights. But the British Constitution, a lot of you people might think, well, it's the British Constitution is a piece of paper and has X number of words on it. Well, the truth is, back in 1776, 74, 75, and so forth, when the the British Constitution was kind of just a group or a menage of ideas and concepts that included things like the Magna Carta and so forth. But it wasn't a specific, well-defined, codified document like a 1 through 10 Bill of Rights. And the issue that the colonists were having was that they felt that their rights as British citizens had been, under the British Constitution, had been violated by the Parliament and the King at the time. And as a result of this idea and this explanation, Jefferson wrote the following words. I'm going to read them to you. And he said, "Scarcely have our minds been able to emerge from the astonishment into which one stroke of parliamentary thunder has involved us before another more heavy and more alarming is fallen on us. Single acts of tyranny may be ascribed to the accidental opinion of a day, but a series of oppressions begun at a distinguished period and pursued unalterably through every change of ministers too plainly prove a deliberate and systematical plan of reducing us to slavery." Think about that. How many times have you folks, as it occurred to you, have you thought, I'd like to go 1 week without another government-mandated, forced program. I would like to go another week without discovering. I'd like to go 1 whole week without discovering that the sitting federal government has taken yet another step to strip us of our liberties, to strip us of our freedoms. It seems like we go from one scandal to the next, to the next, to the next. It's like we almost can't keep up. And Jefferson wrote that in I think it was 1774 or 75. "Scarcely have our minds been able to emerge from the astonishment into which one stroke of congressional or administrative thunder has involved us before another more heavy and more alarming one has fallen on us. A single act of tyranny may be ascribed to an accidental opinion of the day." How many times have we told you? Look at the public school system. Oh, that's just one single isolated incident. And then another isolated incident, and another, and another, and another, and another. Look at the death cult, the 7th century death cult that calls themselves Islam. Oh, you can't hold an entire culture responsible for 1, okay, 2, all right, 50, all right, maybe 479 this year attacks on the free world. You're scared. Yeah, it's called a pattern of behavior. And Jefferson calls them out in this book. He essentially says, no, this wasn't an accident. This isn't a one-time incident. It's not an isolated incident. Without saying the words, he essentially said, what is going on with Parliament and the King is a demonstrated pattern of behavior that is tyranny. It's tyrannical behavior designed to enslave us. Jefferson knew. And let me tell you what, this book, Compact of the Republic, go to Amazon.com and buy this book. Do it. Listen to me. You will not regret it. Well, you'll only regret it if you're a hippie liberal puke face and you don't give a crap about this nation, where it came from and where it's going. If you give one crap about the United States of America and you really believe that it needs to be returned to its former glory, and you want to know how and why, what did we say at the very beginning, Jared? What did we tell them way back day one? 2016 is going to be a challenging year, and you need a sharper mind and a stronger body because you are going to be challenged on all fronts.
This is true. And I'm also going to put the link to the Compact of the Republic on Amazon. There's going to be a link in the show notes on StudentOfTheGunRadio.com. click on episode 311, and there will be a link directly, so you can get directly to it.
Okay.
If searching's too hard for you.
If it's too hard for you to search, if you can't do that. But you guys know that you can always find the show notes and the story links and all that. You can go to studentofthegunradio.com, and you can share them with your friends and neighbors and colleagues and coworkers and so forth. Before we go, I think Jared has a homework assignment for you. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys thank you very much for joining us today, and stop putting up with the nonsense. And just, what did Dalton say? He said, you won't know, I will tell you. Well, I'm telling you, it's time not to be nice. Jared, give them their homework assignment.
Your homework assignment for today is to go to studentofthegunradio.com, click on episode 311, and go through the Compact of the Republic book. Go order it on Amazon, because that's very important.